Hello again, everyone. The other day, someone was mentioning in a comment about sticky embossing powder. And I thought, oh, goodness me, I've never heard of sticky embossing powder. But I have actually heard about it. I just didn't realise that it was also called that. The lady showed me a picture of this pot, and then I realised what she was showing me was a version of this. This is called Stamp and Bond, and it's by Stampendous. My stamp today is by Stampendous too. So what I thought I would do is to just use some of this. The one that was shown to me was a Ranger one. I know Wow do one as well. I mean, there are lots of companies that make sticky embossing powder. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I am going to use it to stamp so that I can attach gilding flakes. This is a new pot of gilding flakes, just got from Craft Stash. It's called Persian Dawn. Isn't that wonderful? Look at those lovely colours. Lovely colours. And I've got a stamp of Agapanthus. So I've chosen brown as a background. This is very dark chocolate brown. And we'll just see how we go. And hopefully I can make this panel into a card at some point. There are a couple of things to remember when using embossing powder that becomes, in fact, a glue. One is, don't overheat it. If you overheat it, it won't be sticky any longer. It's really, really vital. So don't overheat, and always use an anti-static tool of some description before you start. So let's do just that. There's my bit of anti-static. This one I bought from Amazon. It was empty, and I put some of the powder in it from another one, from this one. I don't remember the make of that one either, but there's loads in. Oh, here it says EK Tools, it says. EK Tools. So there you go. There's a different one. This one is quite good because it's got a tiny tip and you can get, you know, into intricate places. Okay, back to this. First thing I need is Versamark. So I'm going to ink up my stamp with Versamark. Make sure I've got a good covering. Looks pretty good. This is quite intricate, this stamp, so it's going to be interesting to see how it does actually stamp. I'm going to stamp it slightly off centre, about there, and I will be cutting this panel down. Okay, so it is Versamarked. I will now pop it onto a little piece of scrap paper and sprinkle on, this is my Heat and Bond, or my sticky embossing powder, or whatever else it cares to be called. It's got lots of names, I think. Okay. There's my sticky embossing powder. And I've had this for years. Looks pretty good. Just have to check for any stray pieces. I will put another one on. I always like to give any embossing that I do a bit of a shake, because if you just put it on and tip it off, then there may be bits of it, of the actual stamping, that haven't managed to grab a grain or two of the powder. So if you give it a shimmy, it's got a chance to wriggle around and get everywhere covered. Okay, let's pop this back into the pot. And I'm going to heat it. And as I said, the best tip I can give you is don't overheat it. As soon as it turns translucent, move on. Don't leave your heat tool there. And I'm going to heat my heat tool a little while before I actually aim it at the image. and away. I'll just look. It looks to me like it's all melted. Now I'm going to put on, oh, is it sealed? Yes, it's got a bit of tape on it, I think. Where does it go from and to? I can't see. That's it. I think I better get my piece of paper back, actually. Right. I could do with some smaller bits, really. Nice bit of greeny stuff. These are bamboo tweezers and are supposed to be, you know, anti-static, which is great. However, if you get glue on them, then the flakes will stick to them as well. So is that different on the other side? Let's move it somewhere else. Try and get a few of the colours in next to each other. The Persian dawn. Oops. Can't breathe too heavily in this. And there's an, oh, look at that. There's some, oh, look, nice bits. Do you know, there's one colour that I don't have in Gilding flakes, and that is blue. And I know Agapanthus is often blue. I've got blue ones in my garden. But I just don't have, I don't know if they make it, actually. Blue. I think that's going to be loads. Okay, before I do anything else, I'm just going to put the lid on this. It's jolly full, isn't it? Okay. Now, this is a scoochie. This is a little tool from Indigo Blue, specifically for gilding. So I'm just going to tamp down the flakes to start with, just to get them stuck to something. And now I'm gently just going to burnish. It's a really, really delicate stamp. I think I'll do another one perhaps using a stamp that's got a bit more definition. But isn't that pretty? Let's get my Swiffer thing. What do you see? Isn't that pretty? I'm trying to get the bits off. There. So now I'll find another stamp, and I'll do something that's a little bit more solid. Okay, here I've got another little stamp. This one is from Impression Obsession, and it's just kind of almost like watercolour leaves, really. So we'll just do the same thing again. Use an anti-static tool. Ink up my stamp. Oops. Let me just put a bit of glue on that. It doesn't look like it wants to hold on terribly well. This is just a bit of glue stick just to hold the stamp on the block. Press down on. That should have done it. Somebody said to me, oh, they put glue stick on, but the stamp just slid off. Well, if that was the case, there was probably a bit too much glue and it was sliding around rather than just grabbing. It should be just a smear of glue. Okay, where shall we put this one? Do we want it? Doesn't, if I do it top or bottom, it doesn't matter. I'll do it slightly on an angle. Okay. That looks okay. Now I'll put it onto just a piece of scrap paper and we'll add our flakes. I'm going to use the ones, oh no, don't want to do that and haven't put the stuff on, have I? Gosh, getting ahead of myself. Bet you're all crying out in anxiety there, goodness me. Give it a little shimmy. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Pop this back. And just heat it. And I don't think I'm going to, when I come to edit this, I don't think I'm going to heat, speed up the heat tool, because it really does take a very short time to do. I'd just like you to see, but the worst thing you can do is overheat. So here we go. So as soon as it's changed colour, stop. Okay, now I can go back to my other piece of paper. It's got a few bits on. Now I'll add some more. They are large flakes, aren't they? Huge. Look at this bit. Goodness me. I'd like a bit of colour. There's a bit. And a bit here. Don't breathe. Just a bit more colour. A bit here. Okay, let's just put the lid on and I'll tamp this down again. Okay. Just use the anti-static again, just to get rid of some of these bits. There we go. Need some more powder to come out, that's it. There we are. But isn't that pretty? Don't you agree? Absolutely beautiful. So now I will just get this back into the pot and I'll make those into a couple of cards really quickly. I've just cut 2 card bases. I've cut one of these panels down with my little framelit die. I'll just show you which one I use. It's a set of nesting dies, and this one is for British proportions. This one, as you can see, it's been used a lot, but I think it's set 2 or something, but it's Sizzix. So I've cut it down, and I thought really that's probably just enough. Decided to use the things coming down, and I thought I would just put a few cascading gems. I haven't got silver ones, I've got some little pearls, so I'm just going to colour these with my metallic paint marker. I did one just to see, and it works. So I think I'm going to try and see if I can do it onto the... I'll just try with one, because if you do it on this sheet and then move them over, as I press them down, I take the colour off. So I'm just going to try and do it. I think it's going to work. So I'll just add some of these and then pop the silver on afterwards. So this is the way I do it. I just go like that and press them down. So if I just coloured them, I would, I'd be taking the colour off. So we'll just have a little trail going down here. Oops. Oh, it's got legs, this one. Where is it? I don't know. Let's just colour those and see what they look like. They look awful as pearls, don't they? But just give them a bit of colour on the top. This is the medium sized one, and it's perfect for going round the round shape of the pearl. There. It's so pretty. I think I might add just a few more at the top, in fact. So just need a little bit more somewhere up here. There we go. Let's just colour those. Don't they look drab in comparison to the ones I've coloured silver? That one, this one, and that one. So there, and that's going to be my card. I did wonder about putting a sentiment on, but when those have dried off, I'll attach that panel to the front of the card. Now, the second one, I thought what I could do with this one is probably just cut it down a bit. I noticed this corner is a bit, you know, been knocking around for a while. So I'm going to trim off the one side just a little. I'm going to leave it exactly the same height as the card itself. And I thought I would cut it off so that it was sort of a bit like this, part way across. About 2/3 of the way. So it's going to be just down the left-hand side of this flower. So about there, I would think. When I use a trimmer like this, I always like to push away from me because it's up against this bit at the end, which keeps it absolutely square. Oh, I've got another pearl on my finger. Pop that down there. So it doesn't sort of move. If you put it this way, you might just do this kind of business and you wouldn't get it absolutely square. So I do it that way. However, these little blades, obviously you've got two sides. So I do remember to put them back in different ways, because if I'm always pushing one way, I'm only using one side of the blade. So I do remember to turn it round, put it in the other way, so I get equal use out of both sides of the blade. That is absolutely by the by, and I am probably teaching my grandmother to suck eggs, as the phrase goes. So let me just see where I am. Yep, chatting away, I can forget what I'm doing. So there we go. Right, I think that will do like that. And I'm just going to put it on right to the edge, I think, like that. Whether I put a sentiment on, I don't know if I care for this, you know, stopping in mid-air. I might have a think about that. But, you know, to me, there's a couple of very, very quick cards that look kind of posh. This one looks as if it would look better coloured with gold, doesn't it? If I put some of the little pearls on and coloured them gold. I might do, actually. While we're at it, keep them in the theme. There's just more of the gold flakes happen to turn out on this one. Lots of these positions are absolutely random. Don't think too hard about where I'm putting them. If I did, I'd be upset. I think I would just, you know, fiddle around for ages. They look quite big like this, but once I've put the metallic paint on, or colour on, whatever it is, it looks a lot nicer. Turn over. There we go. One right at the top. Right, let me colour these. I'll get the gold one out. Medium sized. This is the one. I'll put a little M, L and S on the end so I know which one I'm picking out. Keep them in a rack with my Ohuhu markers. There we go. Oh, is that one done? Yeah. Ah. So, 2 more cards really quick. So, using that emboss, well, it is, I suppose it's kind of an embossing powder that heats up and makes a glue. You can use your gilding flakes. really fun. So thank you very much for watching. It's very nearly Gummiapan time. I'm getting so excited. So do come back, do give a thumbs up, do subscribe if you haven't already, and come back and see me very soon. Thanks for watching.